Hello friends, I am Chinmay Mahapatra and I welcome you all to my channel CM's Biology. Today in this video session, we will learn in detail about the female reproductive system. In my previous video sessions, we have discussed about the male reproductive system in detail. You can find the video sessions. The link is there in the description box. So till the end of this video session we will learn the female reproductive system. So let's start the basics of female reproductive system. So what are the different parts of this female reproductive system? Let's understand first. So the most important part, that is the ovary, is the primary sex organ of the female. Okay, so first we will take the primary sex organ, which is known as ovary, which is present in pair. So one pair or a pair of ovary are there in female, which makes the primary sex organ. Okay, so the primary sex organ is the ovary, which is present in pair. Next, the other parts or the supporting structures or the secondary sexual structures of female can be divided into two important parts, like the paired structures and unpaired structures. So what are the paired structures? The paired structures are the ovary, which we have already discussed. It is the primary sex organ, and here the other paired structure is the fallopian tube. The fallopian tube, which is also known as the oviduct, because it carries the mature ovum that release from the ovary during ovulation. That mature ovum comes out from the ovary to the fallopian tube or the oviduct, and as there are two ovaries present, so there are two oviduct or fallopian tubes. And the other one is the unpaired structures, which are present in one in number, and they are the uterus. Uterus is the important structure which is responsible for holding the child during its developmental stage. Implantation takes place here. Next, the vagina, the copulatory organ through which the penis enters, and this is also important because it works like the birth canal in case of female. So it is vagina, and some external structures which are collectively called as vulva. So these are the different unpaired structures of the female reproductive system, and the paired structures are the ovary and the fallopian tube or the oviduct. So it is very clear about the different parts of the female reproductive system. So the vulva is also known as pudendum. Okay, pudendum is the other name for vulva. Likewise, the fallopian tube is called as oviduct also. It can also be said as uterine tube. It is also called uterine tube because this tube connects the uterus with the ovary. The ovum is brought into the uterus with the help of this tube. That is why fallopian tube or oviduct is also called as the uterine tube. Okay, so let's move on into the different functions. What are the different functions of this female reproductive system? So let's see what are its functions. So first we will talk about, okay, let's talk about the functions of female reproductive system. Okay, so what are the different functions? Let's talk about the ovary first. What are the important functions of the ovaries, or the, we can write here as ovaries, because there are how many ovaries? 2 ovaries are there. So they produce what? They produce the most important secondary oocyte. Secondary oocyte, which matures to form the ovum. Clear? And different hormones are also secreted. So different hormones are also produced by this primary sex organ, including the female sex hormone, the estrogen and progesterone. So these are the most important hormones of female, or known as the female sex hormones. Along with this, inhibin and relaxin. Inhibin and relaxin also secreted from the ovaries. So along with the sex hormones, or the female sex hormones, the estrogen and progesterone, inhibin and relaxin are also produced from the primary sex organs, that is the ovaries. Next, let's talk about the second part, which we call the fallopian tube or uterine tube, or we also call that as the oviduct. So what about the second one, which is called the uterine tube? Okay, do not confuse with the uterine tube, fallopian tube and oviduct. They transport, they are, I have told you that they are the connection between the ovary to the uterus. Okay, so they connect the ovary to the uterus. So the secondary oocyte, which is produced in the ovary, secondary oocyte, which is produced in the ovary, is transported to the uterus. Secondary oocyte from the ovary transported to the uterus with the help of this uterine tube or the oviduct. Okay, so it helps in the transportation, and it is the normal site. It is the site for fertilization. It is the site for fertilization. So fertilization means the fusion of the sperm and ovum. So the ovum, which is the mature form of secondary oocyte. The secondary oocyte gets mature after its release from the ovary, and this secondary oocyte, on the way to uterus, before reaching uterus, in the oviduct or the uterine tube or the fallopian tube, it fuses with the sperm and forms the zygote. So the formation of the zygote or the fusion of the sperm and ovum takes place in the uterine tube or oviduct. So this is the site for fertilization. Okay, so let's move on to the next part, which is the uterus. So what will happen? What is the role of uterus? The third part and the most important part is the uterus. Why it is important? Because the developmental stage, all the development after implantation of the developing zygote, developing fetus takes place in the uterus. So it is the site of what? It is the site of implantation. Implantation. Okay, implantation means attachment of the developing zygote. Okay, so it attached to the wall of the uterus, or we can say it is the site of implantation of fertilized ovum. After fertilization, the ovum get attached to the wall of the uterus, which we call as implantation. Okay. So development of fetus during pregnancy also takes place here. So we can say development of fetus occurs here in the uterus. Next, let's move on to the genital organ of female. That is the fourth one, the fourth important structure, the vagina. The vagina. Okay, so this is the structure that receives penis. It receives penis. Penis is the genital organ, external genital organ of male. It receives penis during sexual intercourse. Sexual intercourse. Okay, during sexual intercourse or during coupling between male and female, the penis of male enters into the vagina of female, and it is the passageway for childbirth. It is also important for it is the passageway. Through this way, the child comes out after it gets mature. So it is the passageway during childbirth. During childbirth, it acts like a way through which the mature or well-developed child comes out from the mother's womb or the uterus. Okay, so last one, which is important, is the mammary gland. Why mammary gland is important? Because it provides milk for the development of the newborn. So next one is the mammary gland, and due to the presence of this mammary gland, we belongs to mammals. Okay, so mammary glands synthesizes secretes and eject milk, and they eject milk. Why this milk is synthesized, secreted and eject from the mammary gland? Because they help for the nourishment of newborn. Okay, so they help in the nourishment of the newborn. They provide the essential nutrients for the developing child or the newborn child. It is very important. The milk which is secreted from the mother is most essential nutrient for the child, without which the child may not develop normally. So these are the different structures associated with the female reproductive system, starting from the primary sex organ ovary to the paired structures fallopian tube, and the unpaired structures like the uterus, vagina and vulva. And these are the different essential functions of the female reproductive system. Keep watching, so that in the next video session we will discuss in detail about ovary, histology of ovary and different functions of ovary, and again we will discuss the other different parts and their importance in the female reproductive system. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button, because it encourages me for making more videos for you. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe the channel CM's Biology. Thank you very much. Stay tuned, dear friends. Thank you.